Hello again, welcome to Study Canada International. For today's video, we'll discuss the question, do I need to make a full tuition payment or a tuition deposit to be able to apply for a student visa? The simple answer to the question is no. I know there are some programs like the Student Direct Stream which requires candidates to make a certain amount deposit into a Canadian bank account before applying for a study permit or a student visa. But that is not the topic of discussion today. We'll have time to touch on that in future videos. Besides, the Student Direct Stream is only applicable to a limited number of countries. For today's video, we'll discuss requirements that are applicable to students in many countries around the world. So once again, there's no federal government requirement for students to make tuition deposits or full tuition payments before being eligible for visas. But there's another thing students need to pay attention to. If the school you applied into has a requirement for you to make a tuition deposit for them to confirm your seat, then yes, you have to meet that requirement. Schools which have requirements for tuition deposits will normally give you some time, say maybe 2 weeks after issuing admission, to make a certain amount deposit, maybe 60% deposit, for them to confirm your seat. Without doing this, you would lose your seat with a school. Some schools do not have a requirement. Some schools will issue you the admission and expect you to make a tuition deposit before starting your program, so after you have arrived in Canada. These are two separate processes that need not be confused with each other. The first is the admission, which is a mandatory requirement for anybody to apply for a student visa to come to Canada. You need to have an admission from a school. So if the school has a requirement for you to make a tuition deposit, then yes, you need to meet that requirement. If not, you might lose your seat, meaning you don't have an admission. Therefore, you are unable to apply for a visa. But if your school has no such requirements, after you receive your admission, you can go straight ahead to apply for your visa. In applying for your visa, there are requirements that you have to meet per country. Every country has its specific requirements. So once again, check the CIC website for your country-specific requirements. Another thing to pay attention to is withdrawal fees. International students, once you apply to a school, if there is a requirement for you to make a tuition deposit, then chances are there will be somewhere in fine print where the school states that if you happen to withdraw from the program, they will withhold a certain amount of your deposit, either as administration fees, whatever. You need to pay attention to this fine print. Make sure you are okay with the amount the school is going to hold back for administration fees. I've seen some schools have a $500 withdrawal fee. Some schools have $2,300 withdrawal fee. So make sure whatever school you go with, the policies they have is something you can cope with. I hope you find today's video useful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching my video, and see you in the next episode.